Welcome back, guys. Good to be back week one, right? I know everybody's anxious, excited to get going. Got a huge opportunity going up to Montana. Beautiful part of the country, great atmosphere. The place will be absolutely rocking. Coach Houck and those guys have had a tremendous few years, just played in the national championship last year. I mean, the thing about their football team, they're good in every single area. Their offense is traditionally extremely strong. Their defense runs and hits. They're extremely disciplined. And they can break the game open on special teams. So we've absolutely got our hands full. I don't know if there's anything that you could talk about that they don't do at a high level. So it'll be a good day for the Bears if we can show up and play with some intensity and effort and see what we can do.
Any surprises over these since we last saw you with depth chart, whether it's injury reports, anything there?
Yeah, the one thing, White, I'd add is Eric Cade. He will not be making the trip. We tried to do some things for his hip. It didn't work out. He's a little frustrated. Great person. We're hoping to have him back in a few weeks, but that would be the one certainty there.
When you prepare for a team like this, there's a lot of pieces that are back, a lot of pieces that aren't. So what's kind of the preparation for a team where you kind of see a little bit of both?
Yeah, talking about it phase by phase, their offense, everybody's keeping talking about their quarterback, the battle. Obviously, everyone wants to hear about that. I think there's a chance that you see two or maybe three. They all can change the game in their own ways. I think they're all extremely capable. They all do a great job in their own right. But when you're talking about the quarterback, it kind of makes you forget about the dynamic pieces around him. They've got an all-conference running back, great player. Their wide receivers are probably the best in the Big Sky, possibly in FCS. And then just look at their numbers on the O-line. Huge mountains of men that can move bodies and do a great job up there. We got to be gap sound. We got to make sure we eliminate explosive plays on our defensive side. And then going to their defense, they did lose a few pieces, but every single person on the depth chart I got handed this morning is a redshirt senior. So they've been in the system. They understand what it means to play Montana Grizz football. So they do a great job there too. And I alluded to it a little bit earlier. We have to be really good on special teams. Junior back there returning kicks he's absolutely elite. If you watch the playoff game against the Furman Paladins, he absolutely blew the game wide open. So we have to make sure we're doing a good job of controlling that phase of the game and making sure that they don't blow it open on that part.
The secondary's been something their secondary is great. Just seeing the numbers on them, just locking down receivers and everything. Yeah. We've talked a lot about wide receivers and everything here. Just what do you see kind of that you guys have been able to take advantage of here playing against your secondary, going up against one that's as elite as theirs?
Yeah, I think last week was really, really good for us, going good on good. We had basically a bonus Montana week. Every single thing we did last week was in a lead up to this actual game week, and I think it really, really helped because we also have some pretty good DBs, and I think when you can go real speed on real speed, it helps kind of get them used to the pace and the tempo of what it's going to be in Montana. They do have an elite defensive back core. I just watched the interview that their safeties did. They've been together for a long time. They're friends on and off the field. And I think, again, that comes from the head coach. I think he's done a tremendous job there culturally, and they've won a lot of football games, and it shows why a lot of people choose to go to Montana.
I like starting this season off one of the best teams in the country, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that I told Kyle before he left is he sure as hell knows how to make a schedule. So going and having that opportunity to play against possibly one of the best in the country, why not? If you want to turn the program around and you want to show steps that you're going in the right direction, let's be road warriors and let's go get it done.
Ryan, talk about preparation and practice for playing not necessarily Montana, but the environment. I've read things in the newspaper up there. They set another record, over 18,000 season ticket packets out. They'll have 25,000 plus there. Have you guys been cranking up the sound system here at Plaster, trying to get ready for the environment that their fans provide?
First of all, isn't that awesome? I mean, what a cool place to go play your opener on the road against a team that was in the national championship. What an opportunity for the young men in this organization and for Missouri State in general to get that kind of exposure. It's really, really good stuff. You can't hide from the atmosphere. You have to embrace it. You have to understand that it's going to be loud. people might say some things that you don't really agree with. It might not be, hey, welcome to Montana. That's okay. That's one of the great parts of our sports is that fans can sway a game in a positive and a negative way. We've been pumping crowd noise in. We've been making sure we have multiple cadences ready, trying to keep their defensive front off balance, which I think will be key. And the more of the atmosphere that we can bring to our practice, we've done a bunch of sudden change drills because again, that's really when the atmosphere picks up. Prime example, when we went to Arkansas, it was quiet. We gave up the punt return for a touchdown. All of a sudden, the place erupts. We got to make sure we handle those situations and understand what to do when the heat rises.
What do you expect different from Jacob this week? That's his first game in a while for all these guys, but for him, it's a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think he's extremely excited. I've been surprised, maybe not surprised, but impressed by his poise. He's a hard read. You don't really see too much emotion, not enough emotion. He's right there at a really good spot. He understands that our quarterback has to be a guy that people look at in times of trials, tribulations, turmoil, and you have to understand that you're the guy they're going to look to make a play or calm the group down or get us in the right check. And I think he's really embodied that from camp and then as well as last week going into game week.
You look at the national championship game, you guys played South Dakota State tougher than they did in that championship game. Just kind of what do you take away from watching that film back and seeing some of the things you guys can exploit in this one?
Yeah, there's a lot of good football played in multiple conferences in FCS. South Dakota State was incredible last year. They went up and did a good job in the national championship. But I don't think necessarily there's a ton of things to exploit. Like I said, we've got our hands full going up and playing the Grizz at their place. They do everything extremely well. They're well coached. They're disciplined. Hopefully we got a chance.
And talk about Jacardier, his situation now and how he's feeling going into this season.
Yeah, he's ready to roll. He absolutely loves doing these media engagements. He's back there. He's next. We had a good conversation before we walked over. He is a great person and a tremendous football player. The loyalty he's shown to this program and this coaching staff and his teammates, I don't know if that's really rare in this environment of college football. My hat goes off to Jacardier, and I think that the whole offense understands kind of what he did in terms of staying here with us at Missouri State, and I think they're excited to get him what he's earned. Make sure we get great push up front, make sure we get him the ball out of the backfield, which is important. He's keyed up and primed for a big year.
Hey, Coach, how big is the line adjustment going to be? I know you guys have watched every piece of tape you can with these guys, but last year's team is not this year's team and vice versa. How big is it going to be for you guys to figure out what's going on when the clock starts rolling?
Yeah, honestly, I think that'll be the biggest piece. I think that's where you win and lose football games because it's the first game of the year. They've been working on things since spring, new wrinkles and things that they like. We've been working on a few new things here and there. It's how you adjust when you get the first, I haven't seen that on film. And again, that's happening across the country, and I feel fully confident in our staff. I think that's one thing that I've talked to you guys about in the last few weeks and months is that I'm really impressed with the additions to our staff that we've brought in and the way we've gelled as a group, and I think our communication will help us during the game.